Good day, everyone. My topic is about Impressionism. Impressionism from the word impression or impress. This is on how you are impressed to the paintings or impression and how you appreciate the artwork. Impressionism is a 19th century art movement characterized by relatively small and thin yet visible brush strokes, open composition, emphasis on accurate depiction of light, is changing qualities, often accentuating the effects of the passage of time. Inclusion of movement is a crucial element of human perception and experience and unusual visual angles. This was originated with a group of BORRES-based artists whose independent exhibitions brought them to prominence during the 1870s and 1880s. The paintings in this style were made up of precise brush strokes that carefully blended to hide the artist's hand in the work. For example is the dance at Les Moulins de la Galette by Pierre-Auguste Renoir, 1876, one of Impressionism's most celebrated masterpieces. Why is it called Impressionism? We may think that it is called Impressionism because when we look at the painting of Impressionist artists, we may say that they may be reflecting it to the real life. But the thing is, Impressionist artists were not trying to paint a reflection of real life, but an impression of what the person, light, atmosphere, object, or landscape look like to them. Impressionists known for accurate depiction or capturing the effects of light. How to identify Impressionist art? First, look for paintings with thick dabs and blobs of paint. Dabs means a quick, soft application of something like paint or makeup. The motion with which you pat or apply something to a surface, and it's also the tiny amount of material you're applying. And blobs means a globule of liquid or bubble. It is a mark or splotch blobs with blobs. For example, A Woman with a Parasol by Claude Monet. As you look at the picture, the choppy brushwork will make you wonder if the artist finished the painting in sloth or in a rush. Second, get too close and it will seem like a big, incomprehensible mess. Take a few steps back and your eyes will have to adjust to its blurriness. For example, the Boulevard Montmartre, The Night at Night by Camille Pissarro. Third, there is no clear outlines or many details. The very low brush strokes suggest rather than delineate the subject, blending one color into the next with almost no boundary between them. For example is The Star by Edgar Degas, 1878. Impressionists strongly emphasized the effect of light in their paintings. They used short, thick strokes of paint to capture the essence of the subject's details. They quickly applied brush strokes to give the painterly illusion of movement and spontaneity or the naturalness. Fourth, artists were fascinated with capturing nature's fleeting moments and the interplay between mist, fog, sunlight, clouds, and water reflection. These themes painted in feathery splashes of typically bright colors that gives the paintings a shimmering effect. For example, the Soleil Levant by Claude Monet. Soleil means sun. Soleil Levant means rising sun or sunrise. Fifth, Most paintings are outdoor scenes that depict rivers, railroads, factories, cityscapes, seascapes, and landscapes. For example, the Regatta at Saint Andres by Claude Monet, 1867. You'll notice there is a particular emphasis on urbanate social life in activities such as relaxing in the beach or boating. Lastly, if the painting is uncharacteristically indoors, it would still portray middle class members, the haves of society, not the have nots, drinking, dining, and dancing. A bar at the Foleyzier sh- paintings show them in settings that includes bars, cafes, opera houses, and ballet classes. A bar at the Foleyzier is a painting by Edward Monet. Considered to be his last major work, it was painted in 1882 and exhibited at the Paris Salon of that year. It depicts a scene in the Foleyzier nightclub in Paris. The four most well-known women impressionists, namely Mary Cassatt, Eva Gonzalez, Marie Bracquemond, and Berthe Morisot. Marie Cassatt is an expat who settled permanently in Paris in 1874. She was the first American to associate with the French Impressionists and the only one invited to exhibit with the group. A Young Girl at a Window was one of Cassatt's contributions to the 8th Impressionist exhibition in 1886. This painting, in which an unidentified subject sits pensively at the large window of Cassatt's Paris studio, showcases the artist's mastery of Impressionist technique. The sitter's blue and lavender thin white dress and hat convincingly convey the coloristic effect of changing natural light. Eva Gonzalez, backs in the Italian Opera in Paris, framed by the lush red velvet and gold rope tassels of the curtain and slightly curving hand-rest. The couple appear detached, the man in profile, the woman in post frontally staring ahead of her. A large pair of opera glasses in one hand, her expression seems at once alert and relaxed, suggests that sort of entranced look one has when watching an opera. Marie Bracquemond, Three Ladies with Parasol, aka Three Graces, also known as Three Women with Umbrellas. Bracquemond's Three Graces are thoroughly modern, fashionable Parisian women whose umbrellas protect their pale skin from the bright afternoon sun, which has virtually bleached the fabric of their dresses nearly to white. With short, varied brush strokes, she dissolves forms until they are comprised largely of color and light. The three women stand at the front of the picture plain, the lower portion of their dresses cropped. This unusual cropping was a major feature of the work of many of the Impressionists and specifically Bracquemond's mentor, Edgar Degas. Parasol means sunshade or a light umbrella used to give shade from the sun. Parasol or umbrella. Young Woman by Berthe Morisot, the French Impressionist painter. She wrote that there is a kind of elevation that does not depend on fortune. It's an indefinable air that distinguishes us and seems to destine us for great things. It's the value that we give ourselves imperceptibly, especially to our spirit. This sense of knowing one's own destiny is the spring of originality, but it's rarely reinforced by circumstances as suspicious. Women impressionists were interested in the same ideals but had many social and career limitations compared to male impressionists. In particular, they were excluded from the imagery of bourgeois social sphere of the boulevard, cafe, and dance hall. As well as imagery, women were excluded from the formative discussions that resulted in meetings in those places. That was where male impressionists were able to form and share ideas about Impressionism. It was also considered unladylike to excel in art, since women's true talents were then believed to center on homemaking and mothering. Yet, several women were able to find success during their lifetime even though their careers were affected by personal circumstances. For example, Marie Beckman. She had a husband who was resentful of her work, which caused her to give up painting. One can understand that women have no originality of thought, and that literature and music have no feminine character. But surely, women know how to observe, and what they see is quite different from what men can see. That's all. Thank you, and God bless.